Let's get this mother crawl!
To the window, to the wall, till the sweat drops down my balls.
Keep the change, you filthy animal. 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 Let's get this mother crawl!
To the window, to the wall, till the sweat drops down my balls.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Happy Friday evening. I am 6 minutes late, and that's because I honestly have no excuse. I don't know how I could possibly have been late tonight, but here I am, 6 minutes late. Super sorry about that. But man, I'm so happy to see all of you here. We have 88 people in chat. When this chat hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. What's going on? Hello, one and all. State of the Heart says, you Lucy Buck. Probably meant Lucky, but yeah, I know Cameron, Drums and Drams Cameron, is what some people would call one super sweet son of a bee. And I love that about him, amongst other things. But that's one of the top things. He's super sweet. He sent 1 ounce of each of the 6 BTAC pours. Cameron, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're going to go out and purchase every bottle of BTAC on secondary, I think he's testing Sarah. I think he's testing his wife. I think he might be trying to get put in the doghouse or the other D house, which is the divorce court, and nobody wants to be there. Not unless you're Cameron, because apparently that's what he's shooting for. He's like, you know what? What do you got? Saz 18? Take it. Thomas H. Handy? How much? Well, that's not enough. Come on. Little more. There you go. I'll take that too. What do you got? That new E.H. Taylor? Bottled and Bond BTAC? Toss that in there. What are we at? Half of them now? If you can do the other half for double the price or more, then I'll take those 2. And what I would like you to do is email the receipt to my wife. It's Cameron. Super sweet. And then he's giving it away. I don't know. What a guy. Cameron is the best. So we have 6 samples here from Cameron. He also sent a 1 ounce Wednesday sample. And where the hell did it go? Oh, it's back there. He sent a sample of friggin' Beacon. He sent a sample of the Master's Keep Beacon, which I haven't had yet. I haven't had Beacon, but we're gonna have it. Not tonight, but we're gonna have it very soon, super soon. So thank you everyone for being in here. We're going to taste through this entire lineup, and we're going to give them scores. We're going to taste and score each pour of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, and I think that will be a ton of fun. It's going to be a blast. No one's going to be bored. And if you are, then I'd love to hear about it. It's a joke. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Let's see here. See who we got in chat. I think this is the order in which I'm going to do this. We're going to get right into business tonight. Right into business. Should we try Beacon first? Before we get into this? Should we try Beacon first? Oh, no, I'm a good boy. I'm going to stick to what I said I'm going to do. The Buffalo Trace Antique Collection lineup. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to it. We're going to stick right to it. Happy Repeal Day, by the way, everybody. Happy Repeal Day. Let me know what's in your glass. What are you celebrating Repeal Day with? Let me know. All righty. Who do we got in chat up in this mother? Joe the Sample Guy's here. My mom is here. Love you, Mom. Very much. Chemi 1979 is here. Sounds like a vehicle. Chemi. I got a 79 Chemi. Friggin' Chemi. Sweet Cindy is here. Cheers back at you. Eric B. Hoping for some hazmat GTS is just okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll get into all the details about things I've had in the past or things I've owned. But yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know. Kobe's only giving handies for $500. It's a pretty good deal from Kobe. He does tremendous things with his hands. Yeah, sorry I was late. That was just a stupid idiot move on my part. When it was 6:56 my time, which is Mountain Time, I went ahead and put my microphone, the receiver on the charger really quick for 4 minutes, because I can't remember if I charged it yesterday or if I have like 3 or 4 videos shot on it. I don't know, but I was freaking out for a second. Freaking out. Every time the music fades, I get excited and then sad. Why do you get sad, Benjamin? I'm here. I'm friggin' here. Drink some BK Ohana. Seems fitting. Hell yeah. Love it. Love it. Cam must be rolling in Patreon. I don't know. Cam's rolling in something. And I love that about him. That's another thing I love about him. He's rolling in something. Currently, Cameron is performing. He is at work. He has a show tonight, and he's working. But he'll be in after that. Do we know how much he paid for them? No, that's not something I'm going to ask. But he did say that it was a lot of money. And I bet that's true. Kyle Reed's got some of those samples coming in too. Bought a JD single barrel proof for $40. Who needs a friggin' BTAC? Dude, right? I mean, the Jack Daniel's barrel proof for that, like that's the difference. Like, what's Izzo's place up? Poorhead, what's up, Izzo? Friggin' nephew of Tom, I would imagine. Cheers, all. So, bottle lottery tomorrow. What would you do? Blanton's Gold versus Russell 13 or High West Prisoner Share? Well, you could go with High West Prisoner Share, and then you could go home and break it over your head. Or you could, was it the Russell's 13 this year? Russell's 13 this year is pretty good. It's not like last year's 15 or 13. It's not like the older 13s, but it's still pretty damn good. I go Russell's 13 and that all day. Blanton's Gold, they have single barrels around here. $200. $200 for a Blanton's Gold single barrel here. Want to retail bottle GTS in Ohio's lottery. It's the only way I'll ever get BTAC. Yeah, how's the Blood Labs? Good. Freaking good. I just had labs drawn a couple weeks ago, and they're good. Why? Do I look bad? Do I look weird? Am I yellow? Or that's probably just the camera. I don't know. Am I like... They're good, okay? Got me in my head already. Thinking about my friggin' Blood Labs. Had about another 12 summers with the drum key. BK reads today. Sorry, kids, Christmas canceled. Blame Matt. Whoa, damn. This is the Jack Daniel's single barrel pick. I did with Lake Fork Dye and Outlaw and the Gassers and Alves. So the Wabam pick, and I figured, why not put it on a shirt? Wabam! Friggin' A. Is that a giant little Debbie cookie? Yeah, it is. That's a big cake. That's what they call cake. I think I'm for $30 at Walmart. Just had Baker's 13, but now Maker's Heart Release. Baker's 13, Maker's Heart Release. Yeah, that was last year's release, right? The Maker's Heart. Let's see here. I have some chicken cock. Nice. 2014 WLW, 140 proof. Woo, that's an old and a big gal. Old and big gal. Some Rise tonight. Street Glizzy. Getting caught up on my Advent pour, drinking day 4 and 5 tonight. Heck yeah, I gotta finish editing tomorrow's video. I have tonight's live stream. I'm not gonna rush it, but I'm not gonna be on here for several hours. I have a bowling tournament tomorrow. I'm in a bowling tournament. It's very good. It's gonna go poorly. But then again, never know. It's a trios event, so there's like a team of 3, and we're probably gonna have the largest handicap in the entire tournament. And I don't know. I've been bowling good lately. But myself, my wife, and one of my sister-in-laws, we're on a team. 2 chicks and dude. It's 2 sisters and a mister, and we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go try, give it a shot. Where do I get an ADHD Wabam shirt? Link is in the description. It's ADHDwhiskey.dashery.com. It's in the link's in the description. Wabam! Wabam. It's always mountain time, if you know what I mean. I know what you mean. Stag 25B tonight. Nice. Not 21 year. Oh! Jim Mazzelli, what did I ask Santa for this year? Not much. Just nothing. Nothing. He's busy. I don't really want to bother Santa. Trackhawk, Jeep Trackhawk, every year. Weep! Every friggin' weep! Every year. Supercharger. Or, listen, it doesn't need to be a Trackhawk. We could go ahead and get the gigantic friggin' the other SUV. It's bigger, holds more people, still supercharged, still like 800 horsepower. Which one's that? Maybe I'll get that instead. Maybe I'll put that on my list. Christmas morning, I'll wake up, it'll be in the drive. It'll be warmed up for me. I would imagine that's probably going to happen. Jim Mazzelli, how are you doing, man? Happy in Silk's World, what do you recommend for someone who can't find or afford BTAC lineup but wants to splurge on a bottle most folks can find? It's already been said in chat, but the Jack Daniel's barrel proof, if you can find the Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye single barrel, those are like $80 for Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, or the rye. You get them for like $80. If you've had that and you're looking for something else that's a big boy for no beat, I mean, you know what? The Jefferson's cask strength this year is really good. I mean, that's kind of like more of a Stag Junior profile, like a Stag profile, like in that realm of things, rather than. I mean, typically, what's happening here is antique collection, for the most part, except for one outlier, is just extra aged stuff. So, I mean, that's what makes it hard. Is you barrel strength stuff with a ton of age on it, and it's a Buffalo Trace profile. It's really hard to like match that profile. But the Jason's release, the drum key release, the debut, is right there in mine with Stag as well. Similar profiles, something like that. And you can just get that by being a patron of his. So it's available. It's not like going to the store and buying it, but it's something you can get. And I'll think about it throughout the night too. Check your lab work. What's ALTAST? What's ALTAST? Oh, yeah, I'm losing weight slowly. I'm slowly losing weight. All right, let's get into the first one. It's going to be the Saz 18. Let's go ahead and get into the first one. Otherwise, we're going to be here all stinking night. Again, Cameron, when you watch us, thank you so much for these. What a generous, generous man. Where in the heck is the thing? I haven't done the stink. Oh, it's not, that's why. All right, this is Sazerac 18, which is 18 years, 5 months old, and it is coming in at 90 proof. America. Like I said, we are gonna pour them, taste them, score them. What did everybody else ask Santa for? I just want a Buddy's Pro Shop gift card. Several of them. Buddy's Pro Shop is a great place to buy bowling stuff, and that's what I would ask Santa for. Santa. Oh, but I did ask my wife for something the other day, and I get it. I would show it off, but I boxed it up already. We went out to dinner last weekend, and then on our way out, we stopped at a liquor store, and they had what she purchased me for Christmas. Because I wasn't going to buy it, even though I would have regretted not buying it. She's like, just buy it. I'm like, and now I can't right now. And she's like, well, and I'm like, just get it for me for Christmas. And then she did. Got a Kentucky Owl Rye Batch 1. They just had one sitting on a shelf. A Kentucky Owl Rye Batch 1 for $130. That was MSRP back in 2017 when it was released. So that's going to be under the tree. And I'm going to drink it. It's going to be good. Both my dad and grandfather then for a middle school team. That sounds like fun. Wish you had your own show or maybe a partner. I do have my own show. It's right here in my garage. Michael, funny story. I don't know if I told the story before. I got reached out to buy, what do you call it? Somebody who, wow, man, my brain. Get it together, Porter. They're just words. They're not going to hurt you. Oh, boy. A casting person who was casting a part for, a part in the show. My brain is terrible. It's the Sylvester Stallone show. It's called, why is my brain this bad? I'm still thinking about the lab work he asked me about, the specific lab work. It's okay. I put a FedEx pack with an envelope in it inside of the actual FedEx pack. Oh shit, I threw that in the dumpster. Crap. Cam sent me a 1 ounce Wednesday sample, and then I asked him if he sent a key for it, and I didn't see it. Then he said, yeah. So I already threw that away. I'll have to go digging through the dumpster. What's the name of that show? She sent me the message on Instagram, and it was in my hidden request folder. And then I saw it, and I was like, shit, I just saw this. And she was like, actually, they removed the part from the show anyway. And I said, well, keep me in mind. And she said, okay. My phone's not working. That's incredible. Is the stream still working? Yeah, looks like it. Never mind. I'll either think of it or somebody else will put it in chat, or it doesn't really matter. But it's funny you said that, because I was like, you tell friggin' Sylvester Stallone that I'm going to come there and annoy the shit out of him for 10 seconds before they tell me to go home. I'm letting the Saz warm up my hand a little bit. Ooh, the bronze back? Do it. Friggin' do it. Get me down to my 2016 WLW. Ooh, it looks good. Bowling is a blast. Hopefully I'm having one of my good days tomorrow. Tribute blend for 2XO, nice. I'm looking for the lab work stuff. Boom, friggin' Fab Burrell. What's up? Well, bam. Any updates on your upcoming barrel picks? Oh, and Holler. I just asked Elvez a couple days ago about the Old Forester 100 proof pick, and he hasn't heard anything, but that should be coming at any point. At any time, we should get that barrel in, the Old Forester 100 proof single barrel. Thank you for the super chat. That's friggin' awesome. Appreciate you. 12 Summers is your favorite? Heck yeah. How far behind am I? 6 Liver. Oh, yeah, Liver's good, dude. Liver's real good. $350 for... Yeah, the Kentucky All One's a steal. For sure. Tulsa King, that's the one. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. All right. Here we go. Yo, SJ, the old swirl job. Ooh, okay. So this baby's old. And I always say, in my mind, the older a rye gets, the more copper it gets in my head. That's kind of the way, when I smell it, I think of copper. It just ages into this really beautiful, not oak, like you don't get a ton of oak on it. Rye doesn't show off the oak like bourbon does. Rye kind of masks the oak inside of itself and sort of like builds up a protective layer. You know, it's like, it's more, you can't really see it. It's more of like an invisible force field of oak, where bourbon, for the most part, most distilleries anyway, it is a protective layer, but it's visible. You're like, wow, you got an oak shield. You are protected from the grainy nature of your being. But rye, it's like, it's just built in. It just gets more and more, it gets softer, gentler. And in my brain, I just think of like the color copper. Yeah. Although, man, it smells good. It gets more candy as it gets older, more candy-like. I would say that a lot of the young ryes I smell, which we're probably going to get into in a second, are brighter, shinier, like more pine sol, astringent, harsh. And then as they get older, they just even out into this beautiful, round, lovely whiskey. Let's see. Scrolling back up. Matt doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. I can use the seashells. And if it's a lisp thing you're talking about, my mouth's a bit dry. And Sally sells seashells at the seashore, son of a bitch. Okay? I know how to use them. Let's see. Crap. What the heck? Oh, okay, here we go. ALT/SGPT. Is that what we're talking about? $28 UL. 28 UL. Seems to be normal. And then what was the other one? AST? AST/SGOT. I mean, that's got to be it. Oh, that's the aspartate amino transfer. Okay, that's got to be it. 19 UL. Looks like it's perfectly in the normal range. If those are the two tests, those are the only ones I see. 28 and 19. Okay, now I can stop thinking about that and start getting into tasting these. Just had to do that because then I was concerned for a second. Like, Dad, did I get those checked? Pretty sure they were checked. And those were checked on November 10th. Ooh. This smells like a really, really delicious, moist, that's a good word, moist coffee cake. A coffee cake with like the crumbly ones. Yeah, I love coffee cake. But there's also like blueberry muffin in there. It smells like really good pastries. I would actually say more blueberry muffin than coffee cake. But this is exciting. This is one hell of a nose. And I do remember in the past, Cameron and I, we did the very Cam and Matt Christmas one year, which I'm going to try to get him to do again this year. But we had a Saz 18 in that lineup that was phenomenal. I think it was like one of my favorite things we tasted that night out of really crazy things. There's a little bit of that pledgy note in there still, like a little bit of a lemon pledge, but it's like an expensive one. If you stayed at the Motel 6 and they left the light on, so they can't afford good dusting agents, there's like a dusty, cheap duster, like, I don't know, some store brand. This smells like you stayed at, I don't know, like a Super 8, like something fancy. Man, like they really know how to polish their wood. Beautiful smell. Like I could smell that all day, all friggin' day. All right, Saz 18 down the hatch. Cheers. That is good. That is very freaking good. That reminds me of a Michter's 10 rye. It's almost bourbony on the palate. It reminds me of one of the really good Michter's 10 ryes, even though it's 8 years old. I mean, who knows how old the Michter's 10 ryes even are, but it falls right in that category of a Michter. I mean, shit, I just finished a Michter's 10 rye the other day. I had a little bit left when I finished it. I should have kept it. Had I known this was going to remind me so much of the Michter's 10 rye, I would have kept it. Crap. That's what that tastes like to me. If you gave that to me blind, I don't know if I would have thought out on the nose. I think the nose on a Michter's 10 rye is more bourbony than this. This smells more rye-like. But on the palate, this reminded me of a Michter's 10 rye so much. But it's very oily for being 90 proof. It's thick and viscous. It's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's just, for a 90 proof rye, that's lights out. That's really good. Got to start there, though. We can't start with anything higher proof. Otherwise, when we go back to it, it would kill it. It would be bad news bears for the Saz 18. It has to be like the first thing you taste, or just a pour that you share with somebody. Like you're just sitting there with a group of friends, or one friend, or someone special, and you're sitting in your fancy chair in a fancy room with books and desks and like pens that have a holder on the desk. You're really impressed by it. You're really impressed with the room and the library. And the pen holder you just can't stop thinking about, because who has one of those? It's not your house, obviously, but you did bring the Saz 18. and you shared it with that person or group of people, and it was just really enjoyable. It's very enjoyable, and they were happy that you brought it. You didn't blow them away with a high proof anything. You just kind of wowed them with something that was super mature, very thoughtful, well-rounded, and just overall nice. Second sip, then I need to give this baby a score. Going to the nose after, I always go back to the nose and reassess it after tasting it because it always changes. And getting more tea on it now, like almost like a green tea, which is weird. Is that ginseng in there? Yeah, going back to the nose, and now there's a friggin' aromatic tea. I like that. It smells really good. Second sip. That is damn good. Now, keep in mind, I didn't pay for these. So I'm judging based off of the whiskey itself. I'm not attached to these one bit. I'm happy that Cam sent them. I know he spent a lot of money on them, but I'm assessing these with $0 in the game. I didn't even pay him to ship them. I should have done that. Maybe I should do that. Nah, he's good. He's into spending money. The finish on this 90 proof rye for 90 proof is ridiculous. Like I'm still enjoying it, having tasted it however long ago. It's not like full powered in there, but it's like 20% and it's lingering around. I'm still enjoying it. And for a 90 proof offering, that's pretty special. A score for Saz 18 2025. It's a very, very good question. 8. 8.55. 8.55 Saz 18 2025. And if you are unfamiliar with my scoring system, some people would say that seems pretty low. And no, it's not. It's actually pretty freaking beastie. So 8.55 is a spectacular bourbon, falling in the spectacular range. I'll get that off the screen, hide that comment. Dang it, why isn't it? Oh, because I got to lose the banner. So then, yeah, 9 and above, like these whiskeys are some of the best things I've ever tasted. But the 8.55 is falling into a spectacular range of whiskey. And why can't I find how to get that to go away? Where's it at? Come on. Oh, that's not it. Right there. There we are. Okay. Under 33 is great. What was mine? 29? Is that what I said? 28, 29? You're good? Heck yeah. Whew. Anyone else seeing laps between the video and the audio? I hope not. Drink some damn whiskey. All right, I did. I drank it. But I also, sorry to be a buzzkill with the liver numbers. No, you said that they're good though, right? Listen, you said it, and I like feedback, So when I go to the doctor, they're not like, Obviously, if it's something you know a lot about and you ask me and I have information and then you're like, dude, you're good, the numbers are good, then that's perfect. I see a delay, can't get it to sync up. Try to log out and log back in, or try to leave the stream and come back in maybe. Oh, I'm looking at the, thank you, chat. Is order based on proof or how much you think you would like it? So I started with Saz 18, and then we're going to move on to Thomas H. Handy next because it's a rye, right? Saz 18 had to start there. It's the lowest proof. Then we're going to stay in the rye category and then go from there. So we'll have a little water break after the Handy and then move on. So let's pour the Handy next. If I can find it. Oh, there it is. All right, America. Handy in the glass. I'm gonna have to go back and reread chat. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm trying to get caught up and then. All right. Kobe says Handy was his favorite last year. Jeez. Since your last live stream, I bought 2 whiskey glasses from Target. They had them on sale. Well, got it today, and they sent me a box with 10. What? They sent you a box with 10 of them? They sent you 5 2-glass boxes, and you paid for 1? Are they the real deal? Are they the real whiskey ones that are heavy? That's insane. That's insane. If you watched my live stream last week and you heard my story about trying to buy the new Boulder cask strength, I probably would have sent them back. Then they would have charged me more somehow. Oh, that was joking about that, Michael, about the worded letter. But I imagined my mom would have sent me a letter. She sent me a letter telepathically. All right, let's get into the Thomas H. Handy. Again, thank you, Cameron. This is so cool. I've never done this before. I've never had a full lineup of BTAC to taste through. This is crazy. I've never owned a bottle of Saz 18. Never had one. I've never even seen one on a shelf anywhere. I did own one Thomas H. Handy. It was a gift from the glorious Jack Johnson, and I got it in early 2020, I believe. And it was a 2011 Thomas H. Handy he sent me. He sent me one of those. He sent me he was Jack Johnson, beautiful, generous man. But that's the only Handy I've ever owned. It was a 2011 bottling. And it was phenomenal. And that's not right. I know that I've received samples of some of these, but off the top of my head, I don't recall a lot of them. They're not like right in my head about what I thought of them. But looking at the Thomas H. Handy, the Handy this year, is 129.8 proof, and it is 6 years, 3 months old. That is an outlier for sure. Kind of weird, kind of strange, considering everything else in the BTAC lineup is extra aged, right? Like nothing under, what? Damn, 15 years? No, is that right? No, the WLW is almost 13 years old, 12 years. So the WLW is the youngest in the lineup besides the Handy. And the Handy is half that age. Rye's mature, faster than bourbons, but still, for it to be in the BTAC lineup, for it to be a special bottling, like this is going to rock your socks because it's in the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. I feel like Thomas H. Handy is getting a little bit screwed in this situation. if you think about it, a barrel strength 6-year, 3-month rye, we can get those in a lot of places all the time. Jack Daniel's single barrels, barrel proof, are like 9-ish years old. So, I mean, the barrels, the areas they must have been barreled at, probably special. They probably have their spaces for them there, their rick houses, and their special ricks and areas where they store barrels for Thomas H. Handy. But it's literally a 6-year whiskey. Now watch it blow my friggin' brains apart. Watch it blow my dress all the way up over my head. Okay. Cola notes. Like a squirt. I said it. It smells like a grapefruit soda. That smells like squirt. Like the soda squirt. Yeah. Or Fresca. If you're in the land of the Fresca. That's an interesting note that I don't normally get. Matter of fact, I don't think I've ever said that before. Normally, if I get a grapefruit note, it's on something that's pot stilled or an Irish whiskey, which normally pot stilled. But those notes generally come off of something like that, something from Ireland. That's Ireland. That's not something from Ireland, kid. Oh boy. Okay. It has a bit of an effervescence to it. It does smell like it would be carbonated, although it's not. Like Pop Rocks. Kind of smells like you opened a bag of Pop Rocks and stuffed your nose in it. It's an interesting sweet nose. It's bright. Like I said, the younger the rye whiskey, the brighter it is. Bright, big, shiny. It sings up here. The older ryes are more down here. Huh. A little chewing gum. It's like juicy fruit. A juicy fruit gum. Which isn't bubble gum, it's chewing gum. Did I say chewing gum? I think I did. Yeah, juicy fruit. And like a grapefruit soda. Which is an interesting note. That actually is something different. It's not your ordinary, typical younger rye whiskey. I like that. I did get the Sazerac 100 proof this year. I haven't seen the barrel strength version of it yet, but I wasn't a big fan of the Sazerac 100 proof offering. If you watched that review. Yeah, I jumped into the BTAC right away. Mount Dobbs. Older needs to make Thomas H. Handy 10 years old, and the stores start doing picks off the 100 at 6-ish. That makes sense. You picked up the H. Taylor barrel proof for $70. Oh, that's a good ass deal. Good grief. Wait till they just put regular old Buffalo Trace in the antique line and charge $300 for it. That time's running out. That's kitchen clock's late again. Well, it's interesting. The name and the lateness, but you'll get it figured out. Your mom said you're a great kid, the best. She does say that. She does say I was the best, but I don't know. She was a great mother too. She was the best. She's still the best. As it warms up in my hand a little bit, it's getting a little bit darker, a little bit fruitier, but still pretty bright. Yeah, a lot of the rye notes are starting to come out of it. But that's just when you stuff your nose in there and just keep huffing it. All right, 2025, Thomas H. Handy, down the chimney. I'm being critical. Cam told me to be critical. I'm critical anyway when I score stuff, but I'm gonna withhold judgment until I take a second sip. But initial thought, very first thing I thought was, wow, this is really good. But that thought only lasted for a very, very short amount of time. I don't remember what I said about the Sazerac 100 proof that I didn't like, but this is overwhelmingly astringent. From the moment it touches like the mid palate all the way back, it's not nail polish remover, but it's some sort of very like volatile chemical, astringent, like an acetone or something. I think acetone is nail polish remover, isn't it? Son of a bitch. It's some sort of a solvent or something. Like it just like it doesn't. It's almost plasticky and just super alcohol forward, like super, It tasted really good at first, and then it stopped tasting like whiskey almost. I'm gonna have a sip of water, and then I'll go back into it. It deserves my attention, my full attention. America. A palate cleansing. All right. Uncut, unfiltered. Yeah, I think it does say uncut, unfiltered on it, on the barrel proof. Oh, they're saying that the full proof, 100% proof, it seemed like the same product line. Holy crap. Target has a sale for whiskey glasses with a wood tray for $40. I've got like something in my playlist section down below that has a link to one of those places. I'm not sure how much the Target, if they're cheaper or more expensive, but those are all like affiliate links. My mom's a bully. No, she calls it, Jason, if she calls you a brat, that means she likes you. Sorry, Mom, to give away your secrets, but it's true. Are you a small person or is they a big Glenn? Dude, are you serious 3 dimensions? That's the nicest thing anyone's ever asked me. I'm not a small person. I'm actually large. Pretty large. But I appreciate it. No, these are whiskey glasses. Compared to this is a normal Glen. This is a whiskey glass. So I guess they're kind of the same size, but they're just shaped different. You know? Like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Twins. Both people. They shape different. He's my twin brother. That's bad. He's my twin brother. Yes, we are twins. I don't know. It's a good movie. Okay. All right. Nose hasn't really changed. Back to the palate. Here we go. Okay, right now, it's doing it. Holy crap. It's like I can feel it. I can feel it like drying off my tongue. Like, you know how you put like rubbing alcohol in your hand and it evaporates? I feel it evaporating off my tongue. I wonder if anyone else is getting that on this year's handy. It is the first initial couple seconds is like, oh, it's big, it's sticky, it's thick. It almost has like a blackstrap molasses or like something in that range of that flavor profile where it's dark. It tastes dark, which is strange because it's a younger rye. but then it gets bright, and then the brightness is like you just had your pupils dilated and they told you to wear the glasses, but it's California, baby. Boom, friggin' Muscle Beach. Rip them off and you're like, ah! Like you're staring at Sean Paisley at Muscle Beach in the bright sunshine, and even the sun is afraid of Sean Paisley without his shirt on. You know what I mean? The sun's like, good God, man, gonna give me a burn. Put your shirt back on, Sean. That's kind of how that felt. Like to the tongue. It's like friggin' eyes dilated, sunglasses off, staring into the giant heater of Earth that is our sun. That's how it felt on the tongue. One of the most disappointing, I would say, and weirdly different things I've tasted in a very long time as far as tasting experiences. And I don't mean to go into me blending stuff, but I'm going to do it anyway. Hold on, I'm getting dad ad. 1 second, I'm sorry. Better be good. Sorry. My wife texted me and I didn't see it. It was on silent. Distractions are hard for me, obviously. When I get on a roll and get to talking, when that boy gets to talking, I've not tried the Blood Oath Amber on Rye. That's a thing? Is that like Blood Oath packed string at 11 or something? Have you ever been a little too buzzed in any of your vids? Never. Michael hasn't seen anything. Go back to like 20, I don't know, 2020, 2021. There was a series called Tipsy Tuesday. There's been some times, Michael. How many of these have you had already? Just tried before this video, just wondering if you had any opinions or this all first tastes. I scored the Saz 18 an 8.55, and so I'm on the second pour. It's the Thomas H. Handy, and I'm about to score that. Trevor in Ohio, friggin' boom, Royal Rumble champion. I think we should have a show with Bev Porter reviewing this lineup. You know, they say don't meet your heroes. My mom doesn't live by that motto. My mom is amazing, and she could have her own show. And I'd watch it every Friday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, even though that's when my show's on. Yeah, that. Thank you for the super chat, Trevor. Okay, that's an unexpected thing. That's unexpected. I don't. Crap. My shit went away. It's falling apart. My whole life's falling apart. I don't know what type of sample bottle. They're just the regular sample bottles. I know that Cameron's been through this entire flight, and I don't know what he said about these. So I don't know if I'm in agreement with him or completely disagreeing with him. To me, that tastes like there's something wrong with it. There's almost a fault in the whiskey. Like it tastes faulted. Like if that were to come down the line and you were to taste it, what I'm tasting in that should be rejected. Like there's something that's wrong with that. And that's not me. I realize that sounds like being an asshole, but it's that sample, which, listen, reviewing sample bottles is a completely, who the hell knows what can happen between pouring and, like, Cameron could have he might have filtered it through his fingers before it went into the bottle. We don't know. And who knows where his fingers have been. But so reviewing sample bottle, like anything that comes in a sample bottle, is rough because you just don't know. Especially if you're reviewing something that is coming from somewhere that really depends on good reviews. No matter what I say about this, it doesn't matter. They're going to sell. But if somebody were to get a bad sample bottle of something that I blended, and then they just really ripped it apart and said that there's something wrong with it, and it wasn't the whiskey, but it was something in the sample bottle or the sampling process that did it, that would hurt. You know, that hurts a smaller distiller or a smaller company. And I'm learning that as we move forward. But listen, Rare Stash, I gotta say, they stepped up their game as far as their marketing went. The whiskey still haven't had their newer stuff, but that old bottling wasn't that great. Do I regret being really mean about it? Kinda. But I was upset, okay? And I bought the bottle. It wasn't a sample. But still. 4.9. I don't... That's absolutely ridiculous for me to say that. And I understand that. But I'm literally reviewing the sample I got, and that tastes like there's something wrong with it. So that's not my review for Thomas H. Handy. That's my review for that sample of Thomas H. Handy. I have no idea. Now, in some of your earlier vids, you look pretty thin. Yeah, I've lost and gained 130 pounds a few times. So that is roller coaster of weight. Like Gugon? Something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm trying to think of what I've never tasted Gugon. Maybe that's why it's hard to really put a finger on what exactly. I don't know. Like, there's just almost like you know how when you get behind a diesel truck and you're not on a recirculate, you're just sucking in all the fresh air from outside, but the fresh air happens to be Cletus's giant turbo diesel truck with like the 8-inch like coffee can muffler tip, and you're like, and it kind of gets in your mouth. That's what that felt like. Something like, not exactly like, it doesn't taste like that, but it did that thing where you're like, whoa. And that sucks for me to say. Jack Daniel's single barrel, like, so some of maybe the regular picks, like the regular single barrel offerings, but when we were at Jack Daniel's, the barrels were older. The one that we picked was just under 9 years old. I find myself yelling hallelujah all the time. That's funny. I've never even been to Buffalo Trace. I'd love it if I got chosen to do, if my number got pulled, I'd love to go to Buffalo Trace to do a pick, but I have not. Drinking Voltron out of a whiskey glass, enjoying an Alec Bradley Black Market tonight. You are on Team ADHD Whiskey, Joe the Sample Guy. And that's right, this live stream is brought to us always by Alec Bradley Cigars, the finest cigars on the planet. If you don't agree, then you don't belong on this planet. Just saying. Or, you do belong. But you just need to smoke Alec Bradley cigars instead. And we'll all love you for it. Okay, get that off of the screen. Aloha. Every Sandy I've tried seems off. I've passed everything they now see. Jason, they have they're still selling Dickel Tabasco at a store about an hour from here, And I do think it's $4.99 for $7.50. And that wasn't me. I mean, if it sits on a shelf for years, that means nobody wanted it in the first place, you know? Like, you see weird shit at gas stations all the time, and you're like, no one's gonna ever buy that. But eventually it'll expire, or they'll send it back, but like it eventually disappears. Pickled Tabasco seems like it's just gonna find its place on the shelf permanently. Being serious. Whatever, Travis. Mountain Goat, I'm nursing that bottle. So that was 2 years ago. The Boulder Cask Strength Bourbon was 2 years ago when I did that pick. Then they had the batch product last year. And then they had I think even a smaller batch product this year, but I tried to buy that bottle last week and they just did not work out. They wouldn't let me buy it. They literally wouldn't let me buy it. I had it in my hand at the cash register. They tried to charge me half price. I told them that wasn't the right price. And then they tried to charge me a higher price than was on the shelf. And I was like, listen, just charge me the price that it's marked on the shelf. And then I stood there for like 20 minutes and then I had to leave. I tried to get the new Boulder Cask Strength and I still want to try it because they are super good. And I should have stayed there for another 20 minutes until they just sold it to me. Somebody lost a bet to make and release Pickled Tabasco. That's weird. It is weird that they did that. So next up, and like I said, that's not like a review, a number that I would stick to. It's not that I wouldn't say that is an honest. If that's what it tastes like, then yeah, it's a bad whiskey. It's a bad whiskey. It's one of the worst scores I've ever given. By like one of the very worst scores I've ever given. But that's just me tasting that specific sample. But I'm not going to say that it's decent or pretty good, because to me, like, that's an undrinkable whiskey, and I have half of it left. A little less than half. Maybe I'll try it again later or something, but I would never say that it's bad unless there was something messed up with that. Weird. All right, so let's move on to the bigger dogs, the bourbons. And listen, the Thomas H. Handy and the Sazerac 18, people love them. I love the sample. Like, I would love to have bottles of them, but I think that the core group of the BTAC collection every year lies in what we're about to get into. But first, we'll get into the younger of the two 100 proof whiskeys. This is the very first offering of the E.H. Taylor Bottled in Bond, 15 years, 4 months old, 100 proof. I'm excited about this. Mash Bill 1, same as Eagle Rare, but this is going to come in a few years younger than the Eagle Rare and 1 proof point higher. Toshi Bake, what's up, Toshi? Talking about earlier how you sent Cameron and I those samples for a Very Merry Matt Madness a couple years ago when you sent the Saz 18 then that I really, really loved. You sent like friggin' super old Stag and stuff, George C. Stag. That was a very fun flight. Toshi's the man. You need a mountain sheep. That's funny. All right, let's see here. Chucky Larms is in the house. He's tasting along with the advent calendar. Had a bad ADHD Taylor sample from a friend, but only because he put it in his jar he just washed. Tastes like a bad dishwasher. Oh yeah, I hate that. Sometimes like glasses get that. But my dishwasher worked. All right, E.H. Taylor, BTAC 2025. This bad boy, 100 proof, 15 years, 4 months old. All right. Giving it the old SJ, the old swirl job, getting it nice and dizzy inside of this whiskey. put it in my little pause, let it warm up for a second. Are all of these your first taste of BTAC this year? Of the 2025 BTAC this year? Yeah. Last year, I don't remember what I tried from last year. Was last year? No, I got the I bought a George T. Stagg in 2023. I didn't get any bottles of BTAC last year. Oh, no. Last year I tried, I got samples last year of George T. Stagg and William Larue Weller last year from Sazerac. They sent me 2 samples. So I did taste of those last year, but as far as the 2025 stuff goes, yeah, this is my very first tasting of any of them. Thanks to Frigga and Cameron. And Cameron sent these to other people, I believe, as well. Jason, the Mash and Drum. And I think he sent some to Dan and Sean, Bourbon Junkies. I think. Could be wrong. I'm excited for this one. You need to get a case of whiskey glasses. Yeah, I definitely need to get more whiskey glasses. But when I do gigantic flights, like when I try to mimic Fred Minnick, the Glens are just so much cheaper to get a bunch of Glens to do those tastings in. And then when I taste for Ascots, I have to taste out of a Glen. It's part of the rules. But for everyday tastings and reviews, the whiskey glasses, I pick 99 times out of 100. I'll pick the whiskey. Okay. That smells nice. Surprisingly light on the nose. Whoa. My nose is in like super mode right now. What in the world? Normally that means I'm about to get sick. I've noticed that. Like a couple days before I get sick, I feel like I'm a super smeller. That smells super peachy. Like really, really, like very stone fruit. That's all I can think about on the nose of that is just a juicy peach. Huh. Sometimes I wish that my wife did stream with me or was willing to just be like, babe, you get peaches? And she'd be like, no. Damn it. Wrong again. But I wish I could ask you guys. Do you got peaches? You get peaches on there? You get peaches? It is so peachy. Brown sugar and peaches, like a peach, some sort of a peach dessert dish. I'm looking for crust. I'm not finding crust. I'm looking for fruit cup, but I'm not really picking up on any cherry or any oranges or like anything that would really, pears or anything. Nothing in the fruit cup range. It's kind of like a cooked down sugared peach. That smells really nice and interesting. I like that. I do like it. I did get on the Thomas H. Handy, picked up on the friggin', what the heck? Grapefruit, which I felt was different also. Maybe my nose is just like, it was working overtime tonight. It knows this is a serious flight and it's like, hey, we got this. I mean, we could go into hints of things, like hints of graham cracker. Like there could be a hint of pie crust, but I think I'm reaching there. That's not something that really jumps out at me. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get into something on the nose and there's just such an overall big note that when you start trying to find different things, you're really kind of being dishonest, because you're actually reaching for stuff. You're trying to find things like what. So I ask myself, am I getting other fruits? Am I getting any sort of spice? Am I getting like any sort of floral component? Is there any like grassiness to it? Is there any graininess to it? Is there oak? But when I'm really hunting for different notes, I think that that's a bit cheating. And realistically, I'm just getting a ton of peach on here. Very good. James made this. James definitely made this. James and the Giant Peach. All right, down the hatch with E.H. Taylor. Bottled and Bond. First year they did the BTAC. Down the Hizac tack. Oh, okay. Interestingly enough, I talked to you earlier about how ryes don't necessarily show an oakiness to them when they get older. But I've said this a million times in the past. I'm on record for saying that MGP and Buffalo Trace bourbons, they're kind of the same way. There are like the older Pappy things, like the 23-year and 20-year Van Winkles. I guess even some of the 15-year the Van Winkle stuff gets a bit oaky, but for the most part, as Buffalo Trace products age, there's not like a super prominent oak note like you get on Heaven Hill stuff, when you get on Jim Beam stuff, the Old Forester stuff, like the Mictors, and these things acquire this really big oak note. Not the case on Buffalo Trace products, and definitely not the case on this. This, I don't believe if I had it completely blind, I would ever stamp a 15-year age statement on it. This is really good. And there is a different level, like there's a different level to it than I remember the H. Taylor small batch or single barrel having. It kind of hits on a different layer to it. Like it sinks a bit deeper into a profile that I'm going to explore further in a second. But as I was getting into that layer, hold on a second. I can't think and talking here. Hold on one moment. I'm going to go shut this door. Sorry. Sometimes I feel like I get in the zone, auto zone, and then I heard my children and my wife talking about going to the movies and watching Freaky Friday, and it's over here, and I can't. It doesn't work. I had to shut the door and apologize, but the E.H. Taylor, like I said, doesn't taste like it's 15 years old, but it does taste unique. I did one time, Michael, you asked me about if I ever had too much in a video before. There is an old Tipsy Tuesday video where I tasted through the whole lineup of E.H. Taylor stuff. And as we progressed through this lineup in this video, they were all so similar, but there were just like different nuances to it, like different variations. And even like the 18-year marriage didn't stand out as being super old, from what I remember anyway. And this is kind of the way that this is working. It doesn't taste like an extra old whiskey, but there is, it's kind of like a subset of the E.H. Taylor profile. It's just like it's a bit different in a good way, in a very good way. Okay, now that I go back to the nose, and I'm not getting peaches anymore. Now I'm getting the traditional Buffalo Trace profile. Cherries, like a sweet cream, little vanilla. What on earth happened? Once you taste stuff, the nose just develops into a different thing, and it developed into what you would think it would smell like. This is what I expected it to smell like, except for I expected it to smell older. If you poured this for me and told me it was an E.H. Taylor single barrel, a really good one, I'd believe you. I wouldn't be like, no way. What, they give you a 15-year single barrel? Pfft, I would never say that. All right, another sip. Damn, that is good. It is oily. It feels like, I feel like the profile is so in line with what you would expect from an E.H. Taylor single barrel. But it's oilier, it's stickier. The finish is lasting so long. But it's like have you ever gone to a high school play and you watch Clue, high school play, and you were like, kids are pretty good. Most of them. Most of the kids are pretty good. There are a couple kids here who, am I muted still? Oh my gosh, I thought I was still muted and that would have broke my other friggin' heart. Where was I? Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is it feels like I'm tasting a better production of the same play. Does that make sense? Like, you watch high school kids do it and you're like, damn, like some of you kids got some chops and you're gonna, if you pursued this, you could probably go far. And then you watch a college performance of Clue and you're like, damn, you know, it was still the milkman or whatever with a jug in the doorway. And then you go on to like a city, like let's just say you're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you're like, there's a professional company that does plays, and you watch Clue and you're like, shit, that's kind of what this feels like. I wouldn't say that this is a Broadway production of E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond, but it is not the high school drama club version either. It is a professional production that you would bring your wife out to a nice date. And then when you left, you were like, that was a good time. It doesn't leave you with anything that makes you go, holy shit, experience of a lifetime, but it's a good experience and you're happy you had it. It's a great whiskey. Eight point. 8.4. 8.4. E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond BTAC. It's very good. It's I would consider it, if I just had this by itself, I'd probably say it's a great whiskey. There's parts of it that you wish were different. I wish that it were oakier. I wish that it tasted older. But I think that the age comes through in just the overall package, and it doesn't stand out. You know, it's like it doesn't have the solo performer that is the oak. It's just an overall great play, you know, that's full of old people, 15-year-old people. They're not old. Anyway, geez, Matt. I saw a huge super chat from the man himself, Cameron, just dishing out money. He doesn't give a shit about nothing. Cameron, let's get some super chats going for the Wutu guys. Show some love, Cameron. You are I talked about earlier how you were so sweet, and I like that about you. And you just jump into chat after your, what I would imagine to be, amazing performance tonight at work. You said you had a show tonight, but I say that you had work tonight because I think that you are a hardworking man, and no one has ever called you a man. And it really belittles your talent, your abilities, your work ethic when someone says, that little boy is playing a show. That little boy's playing a show tonight. And everyone's like, oh, that's so sweet of Cameron. It's so sweet of Cam. He's playing little Cam is playing a little show. We like that about Cam. Little Cam. No. In my world, you're a man who went to work. And you friggin' went to work. And you came home and you kicked your feet up and you took off your work gloves and your giant steel toe Timberland boots. And you got out of your tuxedo t-shirt. You deserve a little back rub. You worked hard tonight, Cameron. You call it a show. I refuse to call it that. You're a man who works. And you're a man who spends all of the money from work. Effortlessly. I love that. Thank you for Super Chat, Cam. You are the man. And how far behind am I in chat now? 5 minutes, not bad. Just scrolling and scrolling. Better production of the same place. Such a good answer for that one. Sometimes I don't know how I do it because my brain works so terribly. But I feel like I'm kind of in a headspace right now that's working. And that's why when I heard them talking about going to watch a movie, I think I needed to close the door because I'm like, I feel like I'm actually, the wheels are turning and they're kind of like, the gears aren't stripping. Everything's kind of flowing well. And I thought that analogy was pretty spot on. Had I not, I wouldn't have said it. Or I would have said it and then said that was a bad analogy. It's probably the day after day after day of video shooting. I'm sitting in front of the camera more, sitting in front of the computer more, and I'm just like pumping shit out. Handy was off Broadway. Handy was way off Broadway. Cam, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to what you said about the BTAC lineup, Cam. That Handy tastes like some sort of paint remover, some sort of something that if you committed a terrible crime and you needed to clean it up, would probably do the job. They'd be like, whatever this guy did, he did it professionally. He's done it before. This person's done this before. You can tell because I think this is where the blood was, but at the same time, it's the cleanest surface I've ever seen. I feel like after I tasted the Thomas H. Handy, my tongue would have been stripped of all DNA. But now after the H. Taylor, the DNA is back. It's back, baby. But yeah, definitely off Broadway, for sure. So, scores so far as we move into the back three. Out of Saz 18, Thomas H. Handy, and E.H. Taylor, Bottled and Bond, 15-year. My favorite so far has been the Saz 18. A well-rounded, well-put-together, phenomenal whiskey for it being 90 proof. So well done. Bravo. The Handy came in with one of the worst scores I've ever scored a whiskey, which is terrible. It might have been the sample. It might have been, I don't know, but a 4.9 for the Handy, 8.55 for the Saz 18, and an 8.4 for the Thomas H. Handy. We're about to move in to the final three, and we're going to move on to the Eagle Rare 17, 101 proof, and a jump in age, 18 years, 4 months for the Eagle Rare 17. They say 17, we say must bump it up a bit. Let's bump it up a bit. Slap at a bass drum. That's right. Stone Cold Steve Hindy. That's Indy 316. William Slattery. Cheers, Matt. Thank you, dude. The super chat. That's crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you. Joe. Do you usually hit hand? No, not at all. I don't remember the scores I gave like blind, like 1 ounce Wednesday Thomas H. Handies or anything. But no, I've never had a whiskey do that to my palate. Maybe ever. It literally really good for a second, then it completely dried out my palate from mid palate all the way back, and tasted like just a astringent salt, like a super nasty solvent. Like I said, that's not my review of Thomas H. Handy 2025. That's my review of the sample I got. I don't know what the hell you did to your hands before you filtered the whiskey with it, but like sometimes sample reviews go like that, and you can't really give it an honest review if you think that there's something wrong with it or it's just bad. I would have to retry it out of a bottle or a different sample first before I really stuck to that, because it felt like there was something wrong with it. And that's not on you, Cam. You paid big bucks for that. You paid big bucks for that from a guy down the alley, standing outside of that really sketchy club right next to the massage parlor you like. And you're like, hey, how much for that handy? And he's like, 1,600? I don't know. I don't know what he put in there, Cameron, but not my jam. All right, let's do the Eagle Rare ER17. America. Glass is nice and clean. So Eagle Rare 17, also, well, roughly 100 proof, 101 proof, 18 years, 4 months old. Cameron, thank you so much. This is so cool. Going through the whole lineup like a real G. Like a real G. It's like renting a rich person's house, you know? You wander in and you look around and you're like, good grief. And you look at the Zillow and you're like, wow, more than you can afford, pal. Ferrari. Then you sleep in their bed and you dirty their sheets. That's kind of what I'm doing with you, Cameron. Your Airbnb bourbon, just drinking it. And I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me rent it for free. Okay. Okay. Now we're playing with something fun. Oh yeah. Oh, I've loved Eagle Rare 17 a lot in the past. Eagle Rare 10 is one of the, I would say, older. Eagle Rare 10 has that oaky note. That's one of the Buffalo Trace products that begins to develop that oaky note. And I think that might be the flavor profile that they're going for in that line, is to actually have an oaky presence to it. And that comes through heavily on the Eagle Rare 17. The oak profile is beautiful. It's like, yes. Love it. I'm going to go back to the, I just after first smell, it smells so good. It smells so much different than the E.H. Taylor. Like night and day. You wouldn't think that, you'd say how many years apart are these? And the answer would be 10, not 3. Oh, lovely. That smells so good. By the way, I haven't even tried an Eagle Rare 12 yet. They're not around here. Never seen one. Never laid eyes on a bottle except for pictures. But I would imagine that that's got to be a pretty good pour as well. Oh man, this smells so. This is like how I was talking about the how the Saz 18 had this kind of luxurious feeling to it, like kind of fancy, kind of like maybe you're in an environment that you don't belong. Like, you know, sometimes you're in a town or an area and you walk through the place and you're like, wow, like, I don't want to get mugged here, you know, just the area. But then other times you're in a place and you're like, these people think I'm going to mug them for sure. Those are the areas I prefer. The places where I'm not going to do it, obviously, unless of course you're asking for it and you're just like, Dan liking $100 bills behind you. But this smells like fancy and smells like just an upper echelon whiskey, an upper echelon experience on the nose. The E.H. Taylor didn't provide that on the nose. The E.H. Taylor was more like, all right, you know, we're cool. We're all wearing friggin' polo shirts and like nice shorts. We're on a golf course, a public one. This is like you are invited somewhere special and you don't feel like you belong there. And they're trying to get you to leave as soon as possible. Yeah. It's golden cherry. Golden cherries. Like a brown sugared pineapple ham. The best version of all these things. And then on top of it, just a super aged oak. Beautifully cherried vanilla extract oak, where it's just lovely. It's not a musty oak. It's not a funky oak. It's just a sweet, perfect oak. I wonder if my bougie ass sweet spot for whiskey is 18 years old. For a bourbon, that might be it. I might be that bougie. You ask a Russell and they're like, 8. Booker No was like 6 years, probably around 6 years is what I would say makes a perfect bourbon. They never met a man like me before. Yeah, I like them old and frisky. Man, it smells so nice. And I don't even want, like I could, just like the Saz 18, I could smell this for days. All right, Eagle Rare 17 on the hatch. Oh, that's a pleasure party. Well, bam. Well, bam. Oh, that's good. It is going and glorious and lovely. This has the cherry notes that I love. Oh, I just want to shut my mouth and enjoy this. But I'm talking to, I've got people here watching. I gotta talk. That reminds me of Wild Turkey Master's Keep Bottled and Bond, the 17-year. That reminds me of 17-year Turkey Bottled and Bond. It has such a delicious cherry note to it. I'm like, the finish is still, the finish is just rocking. For 101 proof, that is wildly good. That is so crazy good. It is so big. It is like, you don't expect it to do that. It's like Mac McClung jumping over a 7-footer. You're like, what in the hell just happened? Doesn't look like he can jump like that. He shouldn't be able to jump like that. What kind of a routine is he on? What part of the Rick House was he aged in? Who selected him? Damn, that's good. There are levels to whiskey. There are levels that we discuss all the time. There are levels to the BTAC lineup. And as I talked earlier about how the Thomas H. Handy is kind of the outlier, being a third of the age of some of these. Like, it doesn't seem like it really belongs in the lineup because it's so young and just not seemingly like it should be a special whiskey. Then there's this in the same lineup of special whiskeys, and this belongs in a different lineup. The Thomas H. Handy doesn't belong in this lineup. The E.H. Taylor doesn't belong in the same lineup. This is a different tiered whiskey. The H. Taylor doesn't belong next to it. It's not the same thing. They're different. They're playing by different rules. And it's the rules that they strictly adhere to. And those rules are made up by Eagleware 17 on the spot, as it sees fit. The rest of them follow along, and they play by those rules. And it's really damn good. Hello. Second sip, give it a score. Wow. Going through the whole process again. Second sip is a little bit more timid than is a little bit more like tapered off than the first sip. And that's typical. Second sips are usually less big, less huge, but that is, it's just so flavorful and so just, it's not like a liquid. It's like you're drinking this different thing. It's like Jello. It's like an oily Jello. And I don't know if that sounds appetizing or not, but that's how it's like. It's just, it doesn't taste like it tastes so much more oily than that. I'll say like a cherry motor oil all the time, but that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't taste like a beverage. It tastes like, I don't know. It's the experience, the tasting experience, the mouthfeel, off the charts. Eagleware 17 2025 is going to receive one of the highest scores I've given in a very long time. It's a 9.3, and that's stupid sounding. I love that pour. That hits everything. That checks all the boxes. It doesn't need to be higher proof. Normally 101 proof, you're like, but only if it were a few proof points higher, or if only it was bigger. No, it doesn't. Like, that's perfect to me. Damn near perfect. What actually, 9.3, I'm like, as we're in the nines, they start to get spaced out a little bit. Like, what have I had that's better? Some King of Kentuckys have been better. Like the really, really old Nictors. One of the year Pappy 23s I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Celebration, Nictor Celebration. I mean, we're talking the cream of the crop, like the absolute best of the best. And that's right there with it. I think that Eagleware 17 is just lights out. And now I am 12 minutes behind in chat. Son of a bee. I don't think anything is wrong with Handy. I just tasted it again. I totally know what you mean about the solvent astringent. I just chalk that up to it being how Handy is youth, I guess. Well, if that is how that is, then it's bad. I don't remember tasting any Handy in the past that made it go from something tasty on the front of the palate to something that is literally making me wonder why does it taste like what's happening? You weren't here when I said this, I don't think, but I said that if there were a sample, like a bottling that came down the line, it would be rejected. Like that tastes like a reject product to me, a reject barrel to me. Like there's something on the back end that's a fault, or like there's an issue with that. I don't know if adding water to it solves it or helps it or fixes it or makes it any better. But the way that it is bottled, if that's the way it is not even okay. It's bad. That's a bad product. Sorry. Street Greasy. You are good. They're nothing special, but they do everything you were 10 does. Oh, the 12. Yeah, 29 bottles for the yield, and that's nuts. Can't wait to watch the replay. Was watching my nephew play hockey. Oh, that's fun. Hockey's fun to watch, especially the little ones. The little ones on skates is so much fun. Also scary because you're like, eek. So let's move on to the William Larue Weller, 129 proof. Get a refund, Cam. Oh, on the handy? That's crazy that it tastes like that. I don't know how they do that or how they make it. I don't understand. Where am I? Banner. Moving on to the WLW. This is 12 years, 7 months, 129 proof. The only wheated offering from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. And I've loved a lot of these in the past. There have been a couple that I was just kind of like meh about. But I think it all comes down to how much of a weeded profile they have. And a lot of the Wellers don't have a weeded profile at all, really. But sometimes you get into a Buffalo Trace weeded profile that does have a weeded funk to it that just tastes a bit off compared to other weeded like Wellers. You just get a weird one once in a while. And I might be extra sensitive to that weeded note. It's kind of farmy. It's a little grassy. It's definitely dairy in some cases, especially in Maker's Mark products. But this, hopefully, is like a lot of the Weller products and kind of plays outside of the norm and is just an ultra sweet, ultra cherry, amazing whiskey. Well, a lot of the WLWs anyway. I've said a million times that when people ask for a Weller alternative, they're like, I can't find Weller, what do I buy? And other people say you should get a Larceny or a Maker's Mark Cask Strength or a Green River Weeded or a Bardstown Bourbon Company Weeded or an Old Fitz, or they just name weeded products because, and I'll freaking die on this hill. I don't understand, but some reviewers or some like influencers or whatever, they just say that they just name weeded products. They're like, hey, if you don't like Weller, here's another good weeded product. When in reality, they don't taste anything alike. Nothing alike. If you want an alternative to something, that means you want something that's like that. You want something that you could have it and go, oh, this is just like having that. Right? Just because it's a weeded bourbon doesn't make it an alternative to Weller at all. The only alternative to a Weller product is another Buffalo Trace product. If you wanted a Weller Special Reserve and you couldn't find it, the best alternative to that is 100% not Larceny small batch. it's Buffalo Trace bourbon. Like they share the same qualities. They share the same cherry profile, not a nutty, grassy or dairy, or just like they're different. And I get fired up about it. I get so fired up about it. If you brought somebody a flight, you know what? No, if you went to a bar and you sat at the bar and you said, I will take a Weller shit, I don't know, and just name a Weller product. And they brought you a Maker's Mark, or they brought you a Larceny Small Batch, and you tasted it. If you if you know your whiskeys, you'd be like, that's not Weller. That's definitely not Weller. But if they brought you a Buffalo Trace bourbon, part of you might think that's not Weller, but 99% of us wouldn't have the guts to question them because we might be wrong. That's my point. Anyway, Weller, William Larue Weller on the nose. Thrasher's here. Oh, hell yeah. My favorite part of the evening, when Thrasher is done with dinner and can join us for a few minutes. Let's introduce Thrasher in the only way we know how to do it.
It's Thrasher! Don't touch your penis.
Welcome in, Thrasher. I have to agree when someone says this is a Weller killer. It doesn't taste like it. It might be a better bourbon. Someone could say this is a Weller killer and it might be a better bourbon. But it's not like a better version of Weller because it's so unique and so special. I don't know. All right. Sorry, I was just scrolling out through chat. Weller's for infants? I don't think that's true. Happy holidays to you, Whiskey Nose. Weller's bottom shelf well whiskey. I mean, realistically, yeah, but I think it tastes better than a lot of bottom shelf well whiskeys. All right, WLW 2025. Here we go. Like a fruit cake, like a pineapple upside down cake. There's this like a sweet glazed sugar thing on top of an unfrosted cake, so you get glaze, but there's an acidic thing happening here that reminds me of a pineapple. It smells like, I mean, pineapple upside down cake is pretty close just because of the acidity I get on the nose. It smells really good. It, again, like a lot of these products, doesn't smell, well, no, it's only 12. I mean, shit, it doesn't really smell like it's almost 13 years or 12 years. It just smells like a thick version of a Buffalo Trace product with a tropical acidic twist. There's something that I'll go, you know what a golden raisin is? They're like the freaking yellow raisins. This doesn't smell like a purple raisin or a date, but something that was kind of pushing me towards that category. But I think that a golden raisin note is not even far of a stretch. It's just something that kind of pops out to me as what this reminds me of. Golden raisins, pineapple upside down cake. Coming off the Eagle Rare 17, this smells less special, but we have to realize it's a different type of whiskey. It's not the same thing. You know, they're built different. They're made for, you know, different reasons, different people. They're not meant to be the same, and that is admirable. What's also crazy is the fact that E.H. Taylor and the Eagle Rare 17 are so far apart, even though they are the same thing. They're literally the same thing. Same ingredients. They were just put in a barrel for a different amount of time in different areas, apparently. But like, shit. It almost smells like a good old fashioned. Like if you were to have an uniced old fashioned. That's kind of what this smells like. It has the bitters and the sugars. There's a cherry you can smell in there. It smells like a bright, really good old fashioned. The old fashions I love the most are the thick, dark note ones. They don't have a ton of brightness or like sharpness to it. This is almost to the territory of a really good old fashioned, but it's a tad bright. All right, can't do much more than that. Let's put it down the hatch. Cheers. That is a grower that blossomed in my mouth. It just opened up. It got big. There is an aspect to it that I'm going to touch on this first, which is the part of it that kind of sucks is the overall astringency. If my mouth would work on the WLW. It's obvious. Like there is a very alcohol forward note, especially on the back of the palate. As the flavors expand and grow, so does the alcohol note. There's some really, really good flavors in there that are, it's like a barrel proof old fashioned. It just gets big and cherry and sweet, and then a touch tropical as well, but as that grows, there's like a problem growing with it. You know what I mean? It's like if we look at Cameron's Buffalo Trace Antique collection, as his whiskey collection grows and expands and gets bigger, hells yeah, love that. But surrounding that is like mounting debt, right? It's like the financial aspect grows with the whiskey buying, like the collection aspect. And that's kind of what's happening here. And Cameron, I love you. And I appreciate you more than you know. But as you taste this, that's kind of what's like the good and bad grow together. So it's kind of like which one's the dominant force here? What takes over? Which one is the one we want to focus on? Is it possible to ignore the fact that it is super astringent and very alcohol forward? I don't know. We're going to find out in the second sip. Okay, going back to the nose, and it's a bit cola-like now. A nice cherry cola, like a Chica cherry cola. Man, there is something under there too, though. Like, what the hell is the thing that, Mom, if you're still in chat, what the hell was that little thing they used to put in soups and shit? Or no, like when you put it in, in like goulash, or like it was like this little spice thing that was, you threw it in there and then you stirred it up, and then sometimes if you forgot to take it out, one of us would bite into it and it'd be like, what the hell is that? And it's like, take it out and you throw it. Not a bay leaf. Was it a bay leaf? No, bay leaves are bay. There's like a hard thing. Too soon. What about the Cameron thing? Oh, Dad. Sorry, Cam. Hey, gas for 911. Cheers, ADHD. Having whoa-bam and your Coy Hill ride tonight. Friggin' whoa-bam. Thank you, Gasva. Those are good, right? Those are two, I would say that the Jack Daniels picks I did this year, for the money, some of the best whiskey for the money, hands down. The finish in the WDO builds and transitions forever. That's kind of what I was getting, but at the same time, I was getting the alcohol build too. Bouillon? No. My mom must have fallen asleep. Whole clove. Is that what that was? Why does it remind me of that? Clove. I knew she'd know what I was talking about. Damn. An 8-ball. That ain't it. Listen, all I want is an 8-ball and $2 million. That's a good show. Mama told me not to. I did it anyway, misbehaving. Okay, second sip of WLW. Gonna focus on it. Cameron's money deserves it. Take it super serious, focus, evaluate it, and give it a score. That is really good. That the second sip, the flavors far outweigh the ethanol build. The flavors really stepped it up a notch there, and they kind of like slapped aside the old over ethanolness of it. That is ridiculously good. That is big. It's sweet. It's everything you want in a WLW, I believe. The question is like, how complex can a WLW get? I'm going to say something, and it might be, what do you call it? A hot take? A hot take? People might say that I don't deserve I don't know. I'm trying to think in Gen Z talk, but I can't. Buffalo Trace products are not complex. As they get older, they build complexity. They build body, they build thickness, they build strength, they build like a gelatin type of profile. And they get better, and they get just stronger and more like, just, I don't know, like a larger version of themselves, but they don't get a complex flavor profile. So when I taste that WLW, I'm like, that is what WLW is all about. How much more complex can it get? These don't like turn into curvy, twisty roads ever. They build in flavor profile the same way that they all build if they're built right. When the Buffalo Trace profile, the weeded or like Mash Bill 1 or 2, when they get big and they build, there's a way that they should build, and then there's a way that they shouldn't build in a perfect world, perfect scenario. First sip, the WLW is like, it's building great, but it's also building a shit shack next to it. But second sip, the developers kind of knocked the shit shack down. the other people are kind of pissed about it and they really want to rebuild, but the higher quality aspect of that, those flavors are really coming through strong. I don't really know how much better a WLW can get. That's really damn good. 8.6. It's an 8.6. That is a tremendous, absolutely tremendous WLW. If the flavor, if the third, let me take the last little sip of this, the last little drip, and see if that ethanol is completely toned down now. Yeah, that was an itty bitty little sip, but French toast. Wow. I tasted French toast on that. That's weird. Big sips and little sips taste different. I usually prefer the big sip taste, but little sip tastes a little bit like fucking French toast. 4-year-old virgin. It's a good movie. Buffalo Trace teaches you sweet as starting out, and it's great to keep going back to replenish your tastings, in my opinion. Standard offerings, dependable. There's a reason why people love Buffalo Trace. There's a reason why people love Pappy. There's a reason why people love Weller. It's sweet. There's nothing usually that's gonna offend anybody. There's no offensive flavors. All the flavors are traditional, sweet, candy, just a lovely like offering of decadent sweetness where people are like, that's what I want, that's what I love and want to go back to. Different distilleries, their shit tastes different, and Buffalo Trace is a great starting point for anybody. And I think that their best offerings are I love bourbon so much. I love bourbon. I love bowling. I love buddy time with my wife. And that's just hanging out, watching shows and movies. She's my favorite. She's my best friend. But I love bourbon so much that I get sucked into everything where it's like, I need to have this and that and this and that. I got a Pappy 15 last year around this time of year, around Christmas time. That bottle is the most expensive bottle I ever bought, $400. And I realized that I love bourbon more than how do I word it? Bougie? I don't think it's bougie. I think it's more like this sounds ridiculous. Pappy 15 is really, really good, but it is like the bourbon novices unicorn where it's like, this is the best of the best of the best of this super sweet profile that I enjoy because I love super sweet bourbon. When you graduate beyond loving just the super sweet stuff and like you can appreciate different things, when your palate adjusts to spice and oak and like funk and different, you start to appreciate the sweetness less. But since your ass never was able to get a Van Winkle, you get one eventually, and then you're like, hells yeah. Then you go back to it and you're like, wow, this is a little underwhelming. It's just not a very complex pour. It's not something that really makes you think. It's just a really damn good, sweet, well-aged whiskey. Not sure how I got off on that tangent. Let's move on. Final bottle of the evening. The big boy. The great big boy. This is George T. Stagg. 2025. 142.8 proof. I don't want to know how much Cameron had to pay for this. But I'm going to go into it with arms wide open and an open mind. I'm going to review the shit out of this, Cameron. No, this is too much. Let's pour it back. But this is probably the most anticipated one in the lineup. A hazmat George T. Stagg. People are going to love this shit. Even if they don't love it, they're going to say they love it. But not my money. Not my problem. I will review it as I see fit. And if it deserves a 4.9, I'll give it a 4.9. I really don't believe that will be the case, though. All right, moving on. George T. Stagg. I am so far behind. Oh, no, I'm not. Wait a minute. Matt, listen to your mother. What did my mom say? Thrasher, thank you for the super chat. What did my mom say? My mama said. My mom. I'm sorry. I know. I apologize. I was just talking. And if I try to read chat, well, I got to do one thing at a time. I'm not the guy who can read chat and also try to get a point across at the same time. I can't do it. Because then I'll read a comment about my liver labs and start thinking about that. Or somebody will call me boring. And I'll be like, damn it. Am I boring? I don't know if I'm boring or not. I definitely don't feel like I'm being boring, but I also kind of feel like I'm being boring. And then things get off the rails. We're not even talking about the whiskey anymore. Anyway.
Right back to being boring.
What did she say, though? Uncle Baby Billy is an elite character. He is. He's amazing. I feel like super serious isn't really a thing here. Not really. Ever. Which BTAC usually is your favorite? I don't ever... I'm not in tune with BTAC enough to have a favorite usually. I'll taste them randomly and say that I love them or they're phenomenal or they're not phenomenal. But I don't ever... This is the first time I've ever tasted the whole collection in the sitting. So, hard to say. What did my mom say? Matthew, you have missed super chats. If you don't see this time, I give up. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Mama. Gaspa, I got that one. I did read that one. William Slattery. I think I read William Slattery. I said thank you. I thought I did. Oh, Matt Robinson. I did not read this one. Someone's got to build a sample tasting review chart for Cam's bottles. A sample tasting review chart. Sample tasting review chart. What does that mean? Like in what way? But I think of a super chat. Appreciate it. And Toshi. Did I read Toshi's? No. Holy crap. I'm sorry, Toshi. How did I miss that? Mom, thank you. Mom, you're on top of things. Hello there, Evening Matt and all. Cam samples have always been good for me, but I wonder if the sample is somehow tainted. Just opened my 25 handy after your review here. It's bright and quite enjoyable to me. Yeah, listen. I said it. I don't stand by that. I completely stand by my scoring. I completely stand by everything I said about it, but I don't stand by that being the review for Handy 2025. Like I don't know. I'd have to retaste it, but that was my review for that sample of it. Who knows what the hell? But thank you for the super chat. That's crazy. I think I caught up on all the super chats, even Thrashers. Thank you, Thrasher. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. I'll send you a pour to compare to Cam's as well. Maybe we just have different preferences. It's not a preference thing. If it were a preference thing, I'd say it's not my jam or I don't really like it. It's literally like there's... I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to send me a sample. But if you do, I still have some of Cameron's left, and I'll taste them side by side. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Kraken, this stream sucks. Check your liver. Stop being boring. I am on top of that. I'm right on top of that, Rose. If anybody wants to earn 10 bonus points for me and become one of my favorite people of the evening, what movie did that quote come from? I'm right on top of that, Rose. Don't Google it. If you Google it, you cheated. I'm right on top of that, Rose. Cam is an AI-generated whiskey tuber. Kraken. That's funny. And you have to watch my Advent video tomorrow. It's halfway edited, but the fact that you said that is hilarious. That's really funny. That's actually more funny now that I think about it than you even know. I feel like you have access to my footage that you said that. That's hilarious. Titanic? No. Nope. Boom. Nailed it. Kevin O'Malley. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. All right. The nose on this George T. Stagg, Sue Ellen said it. Wow. That's... Wait, was there a... Oh, Open Bottles got it first. You were in 10 points. And you literally named the character who said it. Classic flick. That's such a good movie. This George T. Stagg has a strange dough note to it. Like a yeasty note to it. A yeasty dough. And I don't remember that coming off of the... I have a 2023 GTS. The only George T. Stagg I've ever owned. The only BTAC bottle that I've ever been able to purchase at a reasonable price. I have a 2023 GTS, which I don't necessarily love. But I don't think I ever got like a dough note to it. Or like, it almost smells like a sourdough starter. You know, when you need to feed your sourdough starter and you like take the... I've been feeding my wife sourdough starter, okay? Since she's been working out of town. And when we like have a plastic over the top of it, take the plastic off, and then you get all of the aromas. And it's like a fermenting dough. Like a fermenting yeast kind of deal there. I don't know what you call it, but this reminds me of a sourdough starter that needs to be fed. And that's the predominant note here. It's not super sweet. It's not spicy. It's kind of like neutral or maybe there is a little bit of like a people say white pepper. I don't even know if anyone's ever smelled white pepper. I don't think I have. But it's what I would imagine a white pepper would smell like, because it doesn't sting my nostrils like a black pepper, but it has the same feeling to it. Yeah, and like a floured, like it's almost like you're rolling dough, like on the counter. I'm looking for these big, lovely Buffalo Trace notes, like I was talking about earlier, how they build the right way when they get these Buffalo Trace products get old and big, and like this feels more like an offshoot of that in the wrong direction. Like why can't I mean, the dough thing is super on point. But if I want to try to explain it more. I don't know I don't know if I would ever guess even Buffalo Trace on the nose of it. I mean, okay, hold on. I'm going to smell the Eagle Rare 17 again. All right. All right. I don't want to go that far. But it definitely doesn't smell like a sweet traditional GTS or like a... Okay, I'm going to taste it first. So after I tasted the E.H. Taylor, the nose changed completely. So let me taste this and then see if the nose goes back to form. But the nose of this smells really dry and really doughy and really like a precursor to what it should be. It's like it's not the final product. It's like what we're starting with. Like we need this and then we need something else. We need to bake it to turn it into what we need. But it's just like, in the starting phase, but the color on it's beautiful. That's a definite beautiful red color. Down the hatch. Wow. That is big. That's a huge pour. That is large and lively. It is turned up to 11 and it's still cranking on a lever. Like it wants to go louder. That's huge. What I did not get on that, which I appreciate, is there's no, to me personally, I didn't get a ton of ethanol on that like I did the first sip of the WLW. It grew and got bigger and stronger. And although like some of the flavors I didn't love, those flavors grew instead of an ethanol build. There's a like an old dresser note in there. And sometimes that's a good thing. That one, this was like it's cherry, it's sweet. It's sweeter on the palate than it is the nose. But it turns into slightly varnishy, which I get off double barrel things a lot. It's not to the level that I get double barreled products where I know that it's double barreled, but there is an aspect to it that reminds me a little bit of varnish. 15 years, 4 months. Huh. So this is literally like a barrel proof version of the E.H. Taylor, right? Same mash bill, same age. What's the age on the age on the E.H. Taylor is 15 years, 4 months. Am I wrong? Is it the same age? It's the same age. Same age, same mash bill. Am I imagining things here? That's some. Did they water down some of the Stag to turn into E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond? What I was about to say is like it shares some qualities with the E.H. Taylor that it doesn't taste oaky. It just tastes unique in the same way that the E.H. Taylor did, but it's just bigger. It's a huge version of that. It's like, remember when Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, when Shredder got a hold of the ooze? Normal Shredder, if you're familiar with the movie, is E.H. Taylor, Buffalo Trace, Bottled and Bond, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, E.H. Taylor. But then he got his hands on the TGRI ooze. Nobody should have that. Nobody should have it. It's radioactive, and it could cause problems, especially if it gets in the hands of a villain like Shredder. And then E.H. Taylor / Shredder consumed all of the ooze from TGRI, and he turned into Super Shredder. And Super Shredder was a big bitch. It's like boom, boom, like busting docks down and like destroying venues with his arms. Enormous guy, Super Shredder. George T. Stagg, 2025, first taste is the Super Shredder of the E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond. Pretty sure. What's up, Vic? How's it going? In due time. In due time. Sometimes I like to talk to my children about patience and how things happen when they need to happen. When I was a kid, I loved this song. It's from Ace of Base. It was called All That She Wants. I didn't really understand the lyrics at the time, but it was something about this chick wants another baby. And I just loved the way that it sounded. And turns out I'm that kind of person. I just like the way things sound. And until I listen to the words, I don't even hear the words. But it was like, all that she wants is another baby. She's gone to... And I'd hear it on the bus on the way home from school before watching Saved by the Bell. And I knew I liked the song. And every time it came on the radio, I was like, this song, friggin', I love this shit so hard. But they didn't play it very often. They didn't. They played it once in a while. And it happened so infrequently that I didn't know who sang it, what the song was called, or if they'd ever play it again. But when it did come on, I was like, hell yeah. What's this song called? Who's it by? Then eventually I asked my mom for the cassette tape. And she bought me the wrong one. And I was like, this isn't it. So she returned it and got me the other one. And I appreciate her for that. Point of the story is sometimes what you want to happen doesn't happen when you want it to happen. Okay? Sometimes you just kind of have to sit there staring at your TV or your phone, ignoring your wife, your spouse, or your significant other. And you have to sit there. You have to wait for the fat guy on the other end of the screen to taste the whiskey in his due time. He'll do it. The song will come back on. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but eventually the song will come back on and you'll enjoy it maybe a little bit more than if it happened immediately. Maybe you got to take a shit and you only got 5 minutes on your lunch break and you just want to know how I feel about GTS 2025. If that's the case, you can catch the replay. Be patient then. Still love you. It smells good. All I can think of is how much that tastes like the EH but big. It is great big. There's a cherry note in it, but it's not like, it's like a black cherry, kind of like a little bit of a sourness to it, like a little bit of bitters on it. That's good. It is really damn good. I love that way more than I love my 2023 bottling. It is big, it is bold, it is strong, it is girthy. It's trying to prove a point. It's trying to prove a point, and it does. It's really, really big and good. I wish, and I know this is friggin' wish in one hand and shit in the other or whatever, but if it could be the super shredder version of anything, and I know this makes no sense, and I know it's probably impossible, especially since it's 3 years younger, but I wish that GTS was a super shredder version of Eagle Rare 17. And I know that I said Eagle Rare 17 was basically perfect the way it was, but if those barrels somehow proofed up to a big proof, I wouldn't mind trying them at that proof. George C. Stagg 2025, I think it's great. It is, I mean, it's a damn good whiskey. It's not King of Kentucky. It doesn't have that depth to it. It doesn't have the layers. It doesn't have the oak. It doesn't have the charisma. It doesn't make you sit back in your chair and go into a different place in your mind. The proof on it does make you take a step back. The proof on it makes you go, wow. But the profile, the tasting experience leaves a little to be desired. It doesn't have just the overall complexity and depth that something like Camp Kentucky does. I don't know how much this bottle cost, Cameron. I know that I paid like $200 for my bottle of GTS 2023. And if I were to come across a bottle of 2025 GTS for $200, I would certainly buy it, 100%. I don't know what secondary is on this stuff, but I know it's way too much. It's damn good though. I can't even remember what I scored the Larue Weller, but I think that the WLW is. It's hard to say. They're different. They're so different. Hold on. One little last sip here. I gotta score it. There is like a furniture thing to it. Like they just resurfaced a friggin' rocking chair. But then it turns cherry. It is drying, but very there's this lane that it stays in, which is this varnishy cherry thing that rocks the whole way through. It doesn't change or develop. It's just there the whole way. It's like someone's doing burnouts down your tongue with the same friggin' amount of rubber all the way back. And it's a lot of rubber. Did you hear that? I just said laying rubber, and then somebody just did a giganto burnout on the highway. That was incredibly timed. Dorsey Stag 2025. 8 shit, I don't remember what the name. Like, it doesn't really matter what I scored the Weller. This is by itself 8.6 George C. Stagg 2025. Is that too low? No, it's not. It's huge. It's delicious. It's awesome. But the things that get it up into the extremely high 8s or into the 9s, it doesn't have. It doesn't have these qualities that I love in a bourbon. It is big. It's great big. If this were 125 proof, the same profile, it wouldn't garnish that score or even near it. That's not true. Because even if damn. Now I feel like I'm just talking out two sides of my mouth. Because the E.H. Taylor version, the regular shredder version, was damn good. And I think I gave that like a... What the hell did I give the E.H. Taylor? It doesn't matter. Do I like the George C. Stagg more than the E.H. Taylor? Yes. What did I give the E.H. Taylor? See, this is why I don't score things in a night over and over, back to back. And why I don't go back on my score when I do it. I had a good memory of what I scored everything up until the WLW. I mean, shit. No, 8.6 is definitely fair. I think that's way higher than the E.H. Taylor. For sure. I think I said E.H. Taylor was much lower than that. Maybe, I don't know. 8.6, that's my score for the George C. Stagg. Super good. My order, I believe, went last place, Handy, by far. And then fourth place was the E.H. Taylor. No, that's fifth place. Fifth place, E.H. Taylor. Fourth place, crap. I got my scores all goofy up in my head. The Saz 18 was a damn high shit. Somebody remembers. I scored them as far as I went. But my favorite here was by far the Eagle Rare 17. The Eagle Rare 17 stole the show. I felt like the GTS is big to be big. The WLW is as good as it can get. Realistically, it's cherry. It's awesome. It's high powered, high proofed. It's a big weeded bourbon that I love. Handy, bad. Yeah, I don't know. I have to go back and look at the scores. At this point, I forget what I gave everything. Should have written them down. Man, you're awesome. Use your influence and bring back like time whiskey. Hashtag Smoke Wagon lives on. Where is Whiskey Central? I'm not sure where Whiskey Central is. But I think, I mean, maybe out of the country or something. But I don't know. I think that Dan and Julie are just in a different, just living their best life, doing something else. But thank you for the super chat, Kevin. I gotta scroll to the bottom now. Yeah, Jeffo, go Dogs, beat Bama, hallelujah. The only game that I'm even thinking about, besides my bowling tournament tomorrow, which I'm going to win with my wife and her sister, we're going to dominate, even though we are probably the biggest underdogs. We will come out with a check. The only other game is Duke versus Michigan State. Go Michigan State. Boom, boom, boom. All right, scrolling down. How far am I behind now? 4 minutes? All right. 8.6. Weller was 8 points. So we got the same score. That makes sense. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Says 18. Got to scroll back to the beginning, Cam. But I loved it. I loved it a lot. Yeah, I should write stuff down. I know. She is living in Scotland. Go Packers. All right. That's like your opinion, man. Totally. That's going to do it for this evening. Cameron, thank you so much for that flight. That's crazy. And I appreciate you very much. You are the man, and I love you. And we need to do a very merry Matt and Cam Christmas again this year. Possibly for the Jake Paul beating. That, maybe for that. Anyway. Yeah, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much, Cam. Thank you, everyone, for being in here. The super chats are awesome. Thank you for watching the Advent videos, everybody. That makes me so happy to see the views on those. It literally, makes my day to see the positive comments and you guys thumbing up the videos and hitting the hype button on the videos. I get hype points, apparently, and those are supposed to be pretty good. So, love it. And I love this time of year. It's just a good time to be giving and not a bad time to be receiving, if I'm being honest. But that's going to do it. Tomorrow, day number 6 of the Advent calendar. I have to finish editing that tonight. That will be out tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. Mountain Time, 11:45 Eastern. That is going to do that. You rock, Bourbon Santa. That's funny. All right, I'm out of here, everyone. See you next Friday, but you'll see me in the video tomorrow. What's your favorite perform? Oh, I'm just reading these things. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Love you guys. Have an awesome evening. Have a great rest of your night. Have a fantastic weekend. And if I dominate in bowling tomorrow with my wife and her sister, then I will make a huge deal of it and you will know. If we perform poorly, like was anticipated, then I will not tell you until I see you next time. And I won't make a big deal of it. I will make excuses. See you guys next week. I'm out of here. Good night.